deserves this kind of award because he's the kind of guy that's never gonna tell anybody about his successes, about what he does.
He helped write the first 10-year plan for homelessness for the city and county of Fresno over 12 years ago. He continues to be involved in that effort.
He's worked on the need to end homelessness in downtown Fresno. He's worked with Fresno First Steps Homes, which also is a nonprofit that works on homelessness. He's worked on the big Fresno Fair. During his term on the fair went from being kind of scary to being a place you'll be happy to take your family and you feel safe. And he had a lot to do with that.
He got engaged in the 1990s on the whole effort to revitalize downtown Fresno and has literally put his own financial resources as a commitment to an investment for a better downtown Fresno. As chairman of the High Speed Rail Authority, Tom has taken on a very difficult task because, we've never built high-speed rail in America, and the subject is controversial. But Tom has never backed away from controversial issues.
And I would have to say probably one of the most unselfish people that I've ever known. He has a way about him where he actually, I think, looks for the opportunity to help people.
All of the projects and programs that Tom has gotten involved in, at least since I've worked with him, have been related to making Fresno better. That was one of the things he told me early on, is when he leaves, he wants everything to be left better than he found it. And I think that's really caring and good advice.
When I think about some of the things he's done in the community, potentially perhaps the most obvious one is Terry's house, because Terry's house is a testament to the love between two brothers.
The Terry's house was a labor of love. There was no greater bond than the bond between Tom and his brother Terry. And they lived in New York, and they had to travel great distances because Terry had been in a very bad accident. And they saw the need for a home for people so that they didn't have to drive 80 miles back and forth every day to be with their loved ones.
It is one of the most beautiful things that I can think of for one brother to do for another brother.
One of the funniest things about Tom, he was up fishing one day with, I believe it was Jim Costa, and they had a pretty good stringer full of fish, and the stringer went over the side of the boat. So Tom, in his inimitable fashion, stripped down naked as a jaybird and dove in and went after the fish to retrieve the stringer, and he did.
When I first started working for Tom, everybody referred to me as his right-hand girl. And I said, yeah, but I think I'm the right-hand girl that's always there when he needs a left hand.
I loved flying with Tom. I remember flying out of Santa Barbara one evening when we had not long met in a little plane, and the sun was just setting, and we flew through all the corridors and the clouds at sunset. Now that's a really special memory. It's kind of a personal one. I don't tell people that very often. And so if I had to sum it all up, I would say that Tom is the love of my life, and he's my hero.
Something that he seldom ever talks about, and I understand why, but his commitment to service of our country. And it really began as a young person growing up in a military family.
But it's a very important part of him. Tom, as a very young man, went to Vietnam, an officer a gentleman, and he became a leader of men under the worst of circumstances. He never talks about his time in Vietnam.
A helicopter pilot that rescued and saved so many. And it's something that I think has always epitomized who Tom Richards is.
I know he saved lives. I know that his men that served with him, because I've heard them speak about him, revere him, honor him, and have told me that he was responsible for saving their lives because of how he trained them. So there's that part of Tom that is an essential part of who he is. And it's very much an unsung part of his life.
I'm very proud of his service to the country. He's a retired Army man. His business partner in our downtown building is Gary Bruno, who's a retired Marine. They have put together and funded the Valley Veterans Stand Down every year for many, many years. So it does prove that the Army and the Marines can get along.
Tom, this is the best thing that could possibly happen to you, even though I know you don't like any of this fuss, but we are so thrilled to make a fuss of you and thank you for everything you've done for all of us.
Through good, through difficult and trying times, you're always there. You've always got my back, and I've always got yours.
I do congratulate you, Tom. I'm just tickled to death that you've been awarded that honor.
Congratulations, Tom Richards, on a life well spent, and please continue on.
Just wanted you to know, not a day goes by that you don't make me strive to be better than I can ever be. It's been a pleasure working with you for over 20 years, and I look forward to another 20. Thanks for everything you do.
I have, over the years, known a good number of the people who have been the recipients. I've looked up to all of them, and it's an honor to stand next to them.
Congratulations, Tom.
Tom is one of the most generous spirits that I know. He's a humble man with enormous accomplishments. He always steps up, he's always there for the community, and he never expects or wants any recognition for the wonderful things that he does. Tom, you deserve this, and I'm so happy for you. Congratulations.